All right, this is a different sort of story. I don't want to go all like public service announcement on people, but I am so desperate to try to figure out how we can solve this issue that I feel obligated to say something about it. And that's that the texting while driving just has to stop. It is such a dangerous behavior that is spreading like a virus. I mean, it's everywhere. And to be clear, I was 20 some years ago. I took more risks when driving than I do today. I would go a little too fast than I do, a little faster than I go today when it's icy out. I would look at text messages here and there while driving, but then respond when I was stopped at a traffic light. But the degree to which this behavior is leading to accidents and deaths and destruction has become outrageous. I'm finding myself almost at a loss for words because it is everywhere. I saw it in London last week, someone looking down and texting while driving and just rolling at 10 miles an hour right through a red light into an intersection and almost causing a crash. On the highway here in Massachusetts, I-90 called the Mass Pike inside of Massachusetts, you can spot the texters from a mile away. I start coming up on someone in the fast lane, the leftmost lane, and they're going 60 when the speed limit is 65. And usually in the fast lane, you're going 70 or 75 to get around people. I go over to the middle lane, arguably dangerous in and of itself, since you're not really supposed to pass on the right, but necessary to get away from these people. And I look over and the person has no idea that they are creating a backup in the fast lane, looking down at their phone and texting. From a quarter mile back, you see someone sort of meandering left and right, not staying in their lane. It looks like it could be a drunk driver, but it's noon. Nope, not drunk. It's just someone on their phone, looking up only every other second. And when you're going 40 or 50 or 60, you're covering a lot of ground in that second when you're not looking at the road. Here in Boston, there are lots of sort of complicated 4 and 5-way intersections. The city's known for them. Some are all-way stops. Some are two-way stops. Some are two one-ways that meet and both have to turn onto another one-way. And every week, someone on their phone misunderstands the intersection and almost causes an accident that I see. And I'm sure that lots of them become real accidents that I don't see. The number of near misses that I've had with people who are merely on their phones is certainly in the dozens. And the thing about it is, so many people who do it think that their driving is not impaired. Distracted driving is shown to be like drunk driving. And in a sense, it could even be worse because people who are slightly buzzed will often, because they know that, they will pay extra attention when they're driving. Believe me, I am not saying it's okay to drive when buzzed. It's not. But people who do this with their phones, they often don't say, oh, I'm doing something that is dangerous, so I should pay extra attention. In fact, they're doing it, the phone stuff, because they believe that it does not impair them in any way. And I've actually had conversations with people who say, you know, the thing about texting while driving is some people can do it and some people can't. Some people are good at it and some are not. I happen to be one of the people that can do it. I'm not like those people who drive bizarrely when they are texting. And I'm sure that it's a bell curve to some degree. Different people are affected to different degrees when they're texting while driving. But with so many people doing it, wouldn't you want to have all of your attention on the road to make sure that some other distracted driver doesn't run a red light or stop sign and hit you? This is an area where not only strict, but likely to be enforced penalties seem to make a difference. But that's the key thing. They have to be likely to be enforced, because one of the things that we know is that it's not just the severity of the punishment that deters actions. We know that it doesn't in many cases. When you look at, for example, the death penalty versus life in prison without parole, it doesn't appear that the possibility of the death penalty is a deterrent to people committing murder. But when you look at something like this, or when you look at, jaywalking is often an example, it's a combination of not just the severity of the punishment, but how likely you are to get caught. I have friends in Sweden who tell me, I don't understand what's going on in the US. The punishments here are not only severe for drunk driving, but they are likely to be enforced. We feel like we are likely to be caught. So if we're having one beer, maybe two, but in many cases, even one beer, we don't drive. We get an Uber or you get a designated driver or whatever. You just don't chance it because it is taken that seriously. I don't know what the solution is here, especially with overloaded police departments, often, by the way, overloaded, focusing on the wrong things like jailing people for marijuana. But something has to be done. I don't know what it is. And it seems to be beyond reason. I don't know if it's related to decreased attention spans where simply driving alone is not enough stimulus for the brain, where people feel like they need to take out their phones and start scrolling or texting people or looking at Instagram. I don't know what it is, but it's spreading like a virus. And I am open to hearing ideas from people in the audience as to what it is that should be done.